All right, guys, we are back. I'm trying to cut some background noise off there. There we go. Welcome back to the Dogs of Gotham show. I am, of course, Detective Rand, and with me always is Detective Marshall. We have Jason Red Copen. He is the director, writer, and star of the Red Hood series. As usual, he's our regular now. And of course, we have with us Detective Lane. He is another new member of our group as we come in and we like to talk about everything Batman. And lately, we've been talking about the Red Hood series. And Jason has gotten us the actor who plays John Paul Valley on the show tonight. So we thought we would talk about that. And then, of course, we have a nice little 1-minute clip of some stuff. So let me welcome all of you to the show. I know it's been kind of a minute, you know what I mean? With things that have been going on. I want to thank you guys for bearing with me as I went through my little bit of a tailspin there with my father and everything else. But I can assure all of you we are back doing the best that we can. We're going to start giving you some more shows. We're not going to let anything slow us down anymore. If I can't make a show, Marky Mark will definitely take up the mantle, and we are going to continue with the dog show. So let's start by saying hi to Jean-Paul, what's his face?
What's up? What's good, guys? What's going on?
What's going on, man?
What's good? That's me.
Okay.
That's my full
Red,
legal name.
I want you to go ahead and introduce the actor and tell us a little bit about how you got him, how you found him, or you know what I mean. Just give us the background.
All right, everyone. So this is my friend Luke. We met I don't even remember how many years ago. We were at NECACon, and I was outside as Robin, and he was Superboy, and we got some pictures done, and then I added him on Instagram. And then about, I don't know how long after, I told him that I really wanted him to play Jean Paul Valley. And I don't think he knew much about the character, but he really wanted to join. And I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, did a quick brush up.
All right. So your production now you have two of the iconic characters, dare I say, definitely one of my favorite in the Batman universe. But you have both, Michael Lane and Jean Paul Valley playing, as I assume they're, and I know you can't spoil anything.
Nope.
Spoil it.
Somebody here's going to be Azrael. You know what I mean?
Spoil it. Man of the people here. I'm all for spoilers.
Oh, I know you are.
So, I guess should we go into the clip first, or should we, how do you guys want to feel this out?
I don't know.
I've never seen the clip. I'm gonna be honest. I'm nervous.
Content.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have to do this. Now I got to make sure that everything is so we can hear it, not have those little faux pas that we had last time.
This is a rough cut, so y'all brace yourselves. This is not the final version. I had to put it together because I've been out of town, and I honestly forgot about putting it together till an hour before this show. So,
right.
Yeah,
full of grace. Here for you. Full of grace.
Good.
All right. Here we go.
You got a second, Commissioner?
Yeah, come on in, Lane. What is it?
This was found with Alice Gale last night at Mad Hatter's Tea Party. Montoya wanted my help to decipher it, but I'm stumped. Hoping maybe you could take a crack at it.
I'm not a quart. I'm not a gallon. These are the words heard by the talent. What am I?
The only thing I could figure out is quarts and gallons of measurements.
And what does a quart and a gallon?
Honestly, that was the thing that confused me the most. Gallons are bird claws. There's no connection to this. Like a measurement and a bird makes no sense.
I ain't gonna hold you. That was my first time actually seeing that clip.
I thought it was good. I thought that was pretty good right there.
First time seeing that clip, man. That was my first day on set too. Like that was my first scene. I was nervous too. Like I think I said it before, but it still gets me. Like as an actor, I was just like, yo, okay, this is a good setup. This is nice. But as a DC fanboy, I was like, yo, I'm sitting across Commissioner Gordon, man. I got a Riddler card. What's going on? So seeing that, I'm just over here like, jeez.
Man, I'm telling you, it was nice. I think the interaction was cool. I thought you guys, you played off each other pretty well, in the scene and everything else. And we got a riddle. You know what I mean? So I heard the name Jarvis Tetch. Okay, Mad Hatter Tea Party. Okay, all right. So I'm loving all those little sprinkles. You know what I mean? And then of course the interaction with the actors. So now what John Paul? What's his face? What?
Where do I come in? Where do I come in? Is that what you're thinking? It's a good question.
Director.
Oh,
Good
you want
question.
me to answer? Okay.
Yeah.
He can't give out spoilers, so you got to lead us down this road.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so in Gotham Knights, we have Duke Thomas's friend circle, right? And in his friend circle, we have Stephanie Brown, Harper Row, and of course, Jean-Paul Valley. That is where he's introduced. They show up in Gotham Knights. Yes, that dude right there. They show up in the premiere of Gotham Knights, and they are throughout the entire miniseries. It's just one season, 7 episodes. And yeah, I don't think he's gonna get the Suit of Sorrows. I think just Michael Lane's getting that, but I don't know because me and Q are still working on that one, so we'll see. But yeah, Luke knows like nothing about the story. I haven't really told him much.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero, yeah.
Zero.
Yeah. For those that don't know, yeah, me and Jason are tackling Gotham Knights together.
Yep.
So, which I'm really looking forward to. Like honestly,
me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He joined my production company full time, so
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, well then, I've slated some studio time to get my little project off the ground. So that means I got 2 directors now. I can work
Let's
with.
go.
Is that what you're saying? Oh,
Let's
sure.
go.
Okay.
Well, I guess I have a question then. The
Go ahead, Mark.
Gotham Knights, how many episodes will that series have?
So if you include the premiere as 2 separate episodes, it's a 2-parter. We're going to be doing 7 episodes for just the 1 season. And we're going to have about 3 different storylines going on at the exact same time. One storyline is the GCPD. The other one is the Gotham Knights themselves. And then the third one is Michael Lane's storyline. But it still kind of coincides with GCPD. So if you want to see the third one's actually the main villains, you could. I don't know if y'all were paying attention with the Riddler card, but that heavily teased the villains of Gotham Knights.
I heard it.
Sprinkling some stuff in there.
Very, very
Facts.
subtle teasers there, guys. Just a little
Very, very
sprinkling.
subtle.
Just very
Facts.
subtle. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, exactly.
All connected, guys. It's all connected.
It's all
I
connected.
love the way that you do this for Earth 222.
Yes, sir.
I love the way you do that. I love the way you
Thank
do
you.
that. I mean, I'm excited because now I know how you're really pushing to get your stuff done. You know, I've already talked to you about what I was doing to get everything else done, and I started getting the materials, and now hopefully I'll have that my bracers being
Mhm.
sent off soon. But
For sure.
oh my god, man! So okay, and now this Gotham Knights scenario with I heard all the names. I know the characters' name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
I,
Oh
I,
yeah.
I see. I don't want to divulge too much, and I know we give away too much, so I don't want to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I will say we just added a new character to the roster, which I can say is not too spoilery. But she does not actually suit up as a superhero, though. She just stays who she is. And she's one of my favorites. She's not the traditional age she usually is in the comics. We aged her a little bit because when we first mention her, she's a part of a cold case that Montoya tackles, and she brings it to Lane because the two of them are best friends, Lane and Montoya, and so she takes him the cold case after she interviewed the girl about it and everything. And the cold case is when she was still in high school. Now she's college age, and so it's like I was saying, she's not the age she usually is. And that person is Carrie Kelly.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Kelly apologist here.
I
Well,
love her. She's awesome.
so will there be multiple villains, or are we settling on one big bad, or is it going to be multiple big bads?
Let me answer that with another question. No, I'm kidding. So we got the main villains who I've said many times on the show, so it's not spoiler. The main villains are the Court of Owls. But we do have some side villains. If you look at it like a video game, which is how I'm looking at it when I write it with Q, we have side quests for these heroes. And so, but the thing is, the side quests, unlike with video games, the side quest villains don't tie to the main storyline villains at all. It's just side missions. Ours, every single side quest villain ties directly back to the Court of Owls. So we have Professor Pig, we have Mr. Freeze, Hugo Strange. We got who's the other person? Um, Poison Ivy and Two Face. Hush. Let me think. There's somebody
Oh
else I
my
thought of
god!
last night, but I can't remember who it was now. Because I was like totally excited to introduce them, but I don't remember now who it was. Dang. Um, yeah, I can't remember. I mean, the one I was most excited to introduce was Professor Pig, and I have
Yes.
said many times before on this show that Gotham Knights is going to be 14. It's not. It's MA. It has to be. It
It's
just has
gotta
to
be.
be. There's so many. Q knows what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. There's so
it's
many
gotta
dark topics that the GC tackle that are like we're talking the R word, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I
ARAPE.
mean,
I don't
you,
know if I can say it
you
on
got
YouTube.
Professor Pig. Yeah.
I
But
was
you
gonna
got
say, but yeah,
Professor
Professor
Pig,
Pig. Yeah,
man.
that's what I was
Mhm.
thinking.
He's a cannibal.
I mean, that
Right.
Jack
Right.
the Ripper with
With-
the big face.
right.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'm
I
excited
jokingly say
about
he's
with
Hannibal
Gotham
Lecter.
Knights.
Oh yeah,
My bad. My bad. Keep
for
going.
sure.
Keep going,
Yeah.
bro.
No, you're good. I jokingly Professor Pig is like Hannibal Lecter meets Leatherface.
Yeah.
So
So true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
very disgusting.
Yeah.
Very, very
I
disgusting.
agree with that.
But I'm excited with
Facts.
Gotham
And he
Knights with
sings, which is so
how
twisted.
they do it. Nice.
Well, look, I mean, I love the fact that you're collaborating because to be honest with you, Red, you know what I mean, you can use the extra help. It'd be nice for you to be able to just go into a scene and have someone else direct that scene where you don't have to second guess yourself while you're doing the scene. You know what I mean? You have that other guy with you to help out.
Yeah, and yeah,
So,
especially when mine is split these days, right? Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that
Yep.
me and Jason we've been tackling Gotham Knights every day, like continuing constantly advancing exactly what we got and making it better. Even when we think that we got it good, we make it better like the next day. Not even sometimes even the next hour. And
Oh
like
yeah.
it's really cool working with them, and it's really cool like connecting everything to the Court of Owls, because that's the bit that I love so much, because the Court of Owls
right.
is behind like a lot of stuff in Gotham,
Mm-hmm.
and we make that subtle and clear at the same time. Like there's nothing that the Court of Owls doesn't get their hands a part of, and I like that. Like you get a bottle of water, the Court of Owls probably got a logo somewhere on that thing. You know, I'm just saying, like they're deep into the Gotham roots, and I love the fact that we're tackling that. So
Okay, so I see Detective Lane in the clip.
mm-hmm.
We got him in the. We have what's his face. Can't believe he put his name there. As Jean Paul Valley there. Now we know him as the more brutal Batman. You know what I mean? He gets the he goes from this falling angel, this avenging angel, to this gritty, dark Batman shooting 2-inch razor blades at people with a flame cannon. And I mean, are we gonna get? Well, I know you can't really probably tell us all that anyway. That's a spoiler. But okay, let me ask you this, Jean Paul. Let me ask you this.
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you taking your take on this character and bringing him to life?
Well, so when I was offered the chance, like, like previously stated, like the only experience I ever really had with Azrael was when they did the adaptation in the Gotham TV show, which was its own thing. It was just like, oh, that's the character I've heard about. Like, I know him by name, but I don't really know much about him or how accurately they're portraying him or anything. And so I never really did a whole deep dive, and I hadn't really read the Nightfall arc until recently, before actually the role was offered. And then, like, that was just because I wanted kind of the Batman and Bane content in it. But really deep diving on the character outside of the Azrael outfit and the Sword of Sin, and like the goal of the character when he's doing the vigilante thing, that the character of like Jean Paul, it's like I love that dynamic of like opposing Bruce, but kind of Bruce having this ability to say, you were brainwashed, you went through all these things, you are not up to the standard of mental or emotional health that you should be, and therefore it's easier for me to kind of brush off what you're saying, in later storylines. And the character having to kind of find his grounds in learning about his brainwashing and figuring out the person that he's going to be outside of that, and almost wanting to unlearn the things that he was, that were baked into him from the very beginning. And so I see it as this sort of like this opposing mindset of, it's someone who in his right mind and on the right day can throw it back at Bruce and say, I might have been brainwashed since I was a kid, but I don't think you're off the table here in questionable decisions. And I think that applies to people associated with Bruce and associated with the Bat family, and that they all kind of have this sense of sometimes superiority complex. And I think that approaching a character who is obviously traumatized and obviously like emotionally, again, maybe not on that standard, fair enough, but I think approaching a character like that is it's very fun for my little writer brain to like figure out how I'm going to act that, depending on the content that I'm given. Because also, as previously stated, I don't know the extent of the role that I'm playing. I just know what the role is, and I'm gonna approach that with probably more depth than it needs. but but I'm very excited about it because it is a very cool character archetype when opposing the Bat family and that side of things.
Well, I as a as a big fan, okay. Um, from what I'm hearing from you, I think you got this locked. I loved your take on how Azrael, Jean Paul Valley, Azrael, you know what I mean? The conditioning, the system that kicks into him.
Right.
You know what I mean? That whole thing, because he can't help it. When it
Right.
kicks in, it kicks in. And
Yeah.
now to quote Nightwing, this medieval hitman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The blade of fire, and
Right.
You'll pay for your transgressions and all this other stuff, all that stuff. And then here's a guy running around Gotham in a bat suit.
Right.
You
And
can't judge me.
it's such a cool dynamic too, because there is almost that excuse that Jean Paul Valley's Azrael has, where it's like I am prone to these impulses, and it's not my fault, but I still have to struggle with it, and it makes Batman look back and go, you know what, I'm probably not the most equipped to help you with this. But Batman also has to adjust how he approaches future encounters, because he's a human. Azrael, Jean Paul Valley, is a human, and he's going to be prone to mistakes. And Batman playing that role, and therefore, by extent, the Bat family playing that role of like holding someone accountable without villainizing them. It's a tedious pole to walk. And I think that playing a character who, especially as later iterations come along with like the Michael Lane version, where when you're telling a story with a character who's been through that, you can use him. And I'm looking forward to really delving into how he's going to be used in the story. But I think you can really use him as that. I'm learned. I'm learning how to cope with it. That doesn't mean I'm going to wholly agree with the Bat family's perspective on things, because at the end of the day, he is a separate individual with his own experiences and his own storyline to consider, and just really playing that kind of counterweight, that counter. You guys struggle with your own things, and who are you to judge me? And I think that's a really interesting take for a character that's been through all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. So when do you guys start filming for this show?
To be determined.
Probably haven't finished writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The goal is to have the table read this fall.
Okay.
So Q and I have a lot of work to do to get done with that. But it's only 7 episodes, so it's not too difficult. I mean, I wrote season 2 of Red Hood in less time than what we have for Gotham Knights. So yeah, it should be fine. I mean, I will say my goal when should we start filming? My goal is to be summer of 2026, but we'll see. I have a lot to get done still with Red Hood to finish out this year, and people's schedules keep not lining up, so I keep pushing back when I'm releasing the last 2 episodes of season 1, and it's just a whole mess. But yeah.
Okay.
Damn. Well, I want to thank you for the was it the May 25th invite?
Oh yeah.
I I shall accept your invite, sir.
Good.
Formally,
You
I would like
better.
to.
I'll be there, and what I'm going to do is hopefully Marky Mark can make it as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try. I'm looking at doing that as well. So yes.
You know what I
Awesome,
mean?
thank
And
you.
we can get down there, but I'll definitely make sure that I clear my schedule and do that, and be in my pristine best funeral attire, so to speak,
Good, good.
for the scene. But
Yep.
gentlemen, I love what I'm hearing as a Batman fan. You know, I'm the the Jean Paul aspect of it was intriguing. I love the clip. Okay, you guys were, that was cooking for me. And then to hear this, I mean, I can't do much monetary wise there, a few dollars here, a few dollars there, I can put towards your GoFundMe. I'm going to promote as hard as I can here on the Cosmic Portal and then on my personal page as well. And if I can do some stuff with Yester Toys to help you out, man, I'm going to do exactly that, to do what I can do to get you there. You know what I mean? I will talk with Jim tomorrow about June 1st, because we're getting ready to do our thing there. And I make sure I got that right. Yeah, I do. Okay, so let's see if we can pull this up real quick. So, and it didn't come out the way I wanted it. But anyway, this is where we're going to try to get Jason and some of his people to be at a table. You can come and meet and greet, maybe do some autographs, take some pictures, that sort of thing, and buy some merch to help out his project. So, Yester Toys, June 1st, 12 to 5. I'm going to do exactly what I can to get you in there and make this a great experience for you. And we'll see what we can do about that.
Thank you.
Right?
Awesome.
Because I love this. This was just outstanding. It was great meeting you. Jean Paul, what's his face?
This is my face. Don't forget it.
That's got to be a line. That's got to be a line.
Right?
It has to be now.
Jean Paul, what's his face?
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Brown's gonna say that
Look,
now.
It's gonna be in the
I'm gonna look.
IMDb
The
trivia.
second someone says that to me, I'm gonna look so offended. That's just gonna be the reaction. It's gonna be like X fucking excuse you. Sorry, pardon language.
You're good. You're good. Again, I mean, I was talking to Red a couple days ago when he came up to the store and everything else, and we were going through about following your dreams and doing what you want to do, and da 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 da.
Right.
And it was just so surreal because I got to hear him how this was his passion and how he wanted to do it. And it just so happens that my passion was to get my new project, the Oscarith, off the ground. And
Right.
here I am at 54, just now being able to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I get to meet the young director, and then another director, another writer, actor, and it's just, I'm not an actor. I love this. You know what I mean? It's the fact that I'm behind creative people. You know what I mean? And I think that that's the most important thing, that you get around creative people that, like yourselves, want to push some stuff. And then, of course, I got my right hand, Marky Mark, there, that is always like, hey, man, yeah, we can do this. Let's go. It's just amazing, and I wish you all great success. If there's anything that I or the Cosmic Portal can do to help any of you, not just inside the realm of Batman, but any projects you might want to have, you might want to come on and talk about it. We also have another show called The Portal Room. Marky Mark and I run that. It doesn't have to just be me. It could be Mark. You can reach out to Mark, or you can reach out to me, reach out to Jason, say, hey, those guys said we could do this. Could we get on there? We'll make it happen. Okay.
Beautiful.
I don't want you to think that this is just to the realm of Batman, and the Cosmic Portal is much more than that. It's bigger than that. It's anime. It's I've been thinking about putting us on Rumble, but I don't know. We already get into enough trouble with YouTube. I mean, when we have our blurred discussions, it goes down that real big road that's like, wait a minute, whoa, hold it, you know.
Right.
So
Yikes.
yeah, it gets dicey. But again, guys, greatly appreciate the energy, the creativity, and I'm so happy that I get to premiere this on the Dog Show. Which is, you know, so when you guys get big, you can say, well, there was this one guy and his whole team that liked to put us on no matter what we were doing. Yes, that's us. That's us. Right?
He says as if he's not playing Azrael. Come on, son.
Look, I'm gonna be up there. Where my dogs
What
at?
you talking about, man? What you talking about?
Well,
I'm gonna be up there yelling where my dogs at.
It always helps to have hosts who are very passionate about people who are passionate. It always helps. It always helps and encourage people, you know, to want to come and even look back, like humble beginnings. You know, it's like a think back on this. You know, it's like people come check it out just because it's where something started, and it's so fun. It's so fun to see passion breeding passion, man. So keep being enthusiastic. It's very addicting.
Yeah, man.
Man, I'm telling you, I just, you know, the Cosmic Portal was made. It's not like it's a fan page or whatever else. It's a promotional page. I wanted to do this for the small businesses that I always frequented, and then writers and conventions. And now we know we have connections with convention people. You know, I met you guys, and now it's going into, you know, where I wanted to go originally in my life. I wanted to be a director. And when that teacher, my film teacher, told me, you're going to make a great cameraman, I'm like, no, I want to be a director. No, that's not how it works. Well, you go to school for directing.
Right.
You become a director. That's exactly how it works. No, Hollywood doesn't work that way. And I'm like, what?
You can, though.
Yeah,
you know, and then, of course, certain things with at home life and my parents telling me, get a real job. You're never going to be able to do this. Get something that makes money and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
But now at 54, I've completed my first book, working on my second, and collaborating with you guys for my 5-minute short for the Oscarith. How it all begins is, you know, now I know you guys are busy, but 2028, you keep that free for me.
Thanks.
I'll give you 3 years to get all this out the way.
Thank you.
2028, I want my 2 directors directing this thing, and by then, my little movement should be big enough to really get us some stuff. And because I was in sword class, and there was this guy that really put me through the test when we were going back and forth, because we had to do the 5-1, 4-1. So you had to go up and down the court of this basketball court, doing it. And this guy would get faster and faster, you know. And I'm like, look, I'm fat. Hold on, slow down. Hold it. And then finally, you know, that surge kicks in where you're like, okay, boom, let's go. And we're going back and forth, and it felt good. And I kept thinking that has to be a scene in there. You know what I mean? So now my mind starts working like a director. It's like how you can get in here and do this. And I'm like, ooh. So, but that's too much information for right now. Jean-Paul Valet, thank you for coming to the show, sir. You have an open invite anytime.
Thank you so much for having me.
Red, Detective Lane, you know, you guys are always a regular. We're going to open the next court case on the Penguin and the Riddler. Now we're going to go back into our old case file days and just actually talk about the characters, throw some stuff up on the screen. Feel free, you two, to interact what you're doing with your characters with this. Okay? So it's not a complete, you know, we're moving this format. I premiered Jason when I first met him about his show because I was so impressed with it. And he became a member of the show. Then he brought Quentin with him. And when I saw Quentin, he had that Zack Snyder. I said, that's my boy right there. That's it. That's it.
No.
This is now becoming the crew, and of course, Detective Garrett, with time allowing for him to come on and back here because originally this is something he came up with. This was his show that he came up with, and it's supposed to be the crown jewel for the NC chapter. So, Detective Garrett, I hope you feel better, and I will see you back in 2 weeks, sir, so you can take lead on our open file on the Penguin and the Riddler. To my guests and my co-hosts, I say thank you, and to all of you, have a great night, and remember, Gotham is not just protected by nutcases and weirdos and spandex. You have the law.